concept of Uprising actually came from an experience that we had from our last trip to the Philippines. A group of us went to the Philippines for our vacation.
So it was me, my brother Obi, Riza and her husband Rick, and his daughter Nicole, along with Marlon, Riza's brother. He's the lead singer for our worship team. All of us, we all took a vacation trip to the Philippines. And it was a great vacation, but God also used it for ministry opportunities for all of us.
We actually visited a church that my sister and some of our cousins went to there, and they had a youth service every Friday night that they called Afterglow.
Afterglow is this youth service that we went to in the Philippines. It's catered to our generation. They meet every Fridays, and they had a rock and worship band with kids that were going crazy praising the Lord with such passion. They had a pastor and a speaker and guest speakers that come up and just share the love of God to these kids, and it was just really awesome to see how God was using this ministry to touch the lives of such a young generation.
So while we were there, the pastor of Afterglow actually asked me and Rick if we would like to share testimonies, and we gladly jumped at the occasion to do it, and it was awesome to share what God has done in our lives to these kids, and just to see how blessed they were through what God has done through my life and Rick's life. And also we got to play worship for this one Sunday, and it was Marlon, Obi, and I. We played, and just to see these kids worshiping God without a care in the world, like just praising our Father in heaven, was just such a blessing, to all of us.
And I remember standing there in the middle of worship and then opening my eyes and looking to the right, and then I see a line of kids. A line of kids. Some of them weren't even older than 12 years old, but they all had their eyes closed and their hands raised, and they were singing so passionately in love with the Lord, and that moved me. And I remember praying to God and asking Him to make us ready, make it our time, for this kind of movement when we get back to our church.
When we got back from the Philippines, God had planted the seed inside Riza's heart. And He kept telling her, you need to do something new, you need to do something radical for this generation, for the kids here in the States. He said, he kept telling her, you need to make an Afterglow, but here. So that's what we did.
We were so inspired by Afterglow that when we got back, we got together as a youth group and started planning. We created different ministry teams. We made a worship team, we had a multimedia team, we made a PR team, and with God's guidance, we had everything planned out, from when we'd hold the event, to where we'd hold the event, to who would be the speaker, etc. And everything just came together. It was really awesome, and everything was set, and it came to fruition.
So after all the planning was done and set, and after we finalized everything, we were good to go. The only problem was we didn't know what to call it.
So we came up with a bunch of different names. We were trying to figure out, what do we call this thing? So we got together and we started brainstorming and throwing different ideas into the pot. we came up with some funny ideas. Some were like Friday Night Lights, or Living Bread on Fire, or The Living Room, or Toast. But we kept praying and God spoke.
So we decided to call this event Uprising, which means to rise up, to go against the norm. And so month after month, Uprising seeks to challenge today's generation.
To encourage the weak, to comfort the hurt, to reach out to the lost. God today has blessed us with a full year of ministry, and it just shows that God's grace, His love, His mercy is greater than anything else that this world can ever offer us.
Awaken your spirit. Rise up from this complacency and find out what it truly means to live, because we were meant for something bigger, something more than this world can ever offer. We were meant to live for the risen Lord Jesus Christ.
Don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. This is your life. Are you who you wanna be? This is your life. Are you who you wanna be? This is your life. Are your